Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to the English coverage of the ProDota Cup NA region best of three between Team Freedom and Shazam. Gonna be a hell of a matchup here. Both these teams come in fresh off the back of getting beaten by Complexity, so, Complexity's been getting around here, but these teams, they're looking to duke it out against each other now. I'm gonna be your caster, Annie, aka Android, and I am being joined by the lovely Sindar. What's up, man?
Not much. Excited to get to watch these teams again. It's always fun to watch a couple of teams who know each other so extremely well. Freedom and Shazam, they play against each other all the time. And so when there's that much knowledge of each other, you can't really pull out pocket picks, you can't really have any secret strats because you know each other so well. So it's more of a game of just execution and outplaying the other team.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to have some really, really comfort picks here. IX Mike picking up as a Baden first. I really like that here. It's such a survivable offlaner. He's able to do so much of it. And they pick up a Spectre as well, so Team Freedom looking to get a lot out of the map and, maybe not go full YOLO in the laning phase. They're looking to sit back, take things towards the later game. But with the Invoker Bounty Hunter pickup, will they get that much luxury to just sit back and farm?
Well, I like the bounty pick. Or the Spectre pick into the Bounty Hunter. It's kind of a like, oh, you want to take this late, you want to get your gold from your tracks, well, we'll pick up a Spectre. But that's not to say that Freedom have to take this late. The last time we saw this pick from them, they actually ran the Abaddon with the Spectre in a game against Complexity just earlier today, and that they won in 40 minutes, so that's certainly not late game. So they can win early with this, and I feel like the way Freedom like to fight, this will not be like do nothing farm radiance kind of Spectre. They tend to favor the more active, buying those early stat items, coming into fights, helping get kills kind of play on the hero.
Alright, so we'll see what they're going to do for it here, but again, going up against Bounty Hunter and Invoker, those are heroes that are designed to shut down your laning phase. Bounty Hunter will be there, soaking up any jungle XP, going in for some backstab, Shuriken tosses, bouncing around, so we'll see if he's able to get his level 6 fast enough to have a really big impact with Invoker's early team fight, or if they're going to have to push things back, and, Shazam don't want to go up against a 40-minute 6-slotted Spectre.
No, goodness no, no one does. But they may just have a plan to deal with it. I mean, Spectre, one of the problems with running the hero at this point, nothing to do with how good it is, but just the fact that it was such a popular pick in 6.86. It's kind of like pulling the gyrocopter out in 6.86. It was still good, but it wasn't as good as it was in 6.85 just because everyone knew the hero so well. And so the same thing with Spectre now. Everyone knows how to play around it really, really effectively. And I've seen more and more Spectres just be controlled, be zoned out, and not get to do what they want to do because teams are just so used to playing against it and know it well.
Alright, so Darkseer is going to be the offlaner here for Shazam. I like this a lot because I think those Ion Shells can do a number harassing the Spectre, and unless we have something real funky like a mid-Spectre or swapped long and short lanes, I think Team Freedom might have a tough time dealing with those constant Ion Shell harass. Did they go for something like an Oracle Babysitter?
You don't necessarily need to go for something with a lot of sustain, as long as Spectre builds right for the lane and they have heroes that can zone. I mean, Oracle would work really nicely because you can purge the Ion Shell off, but it's not necessary, and it may be a little too all-in with the Abaddon already picked up as a kind of defensive support. So they go for Bane instead, and not any obvious synergy with the other two heroes they've got out so far, but just a strong laner in general. Bane can harass very effectively, has a lot of HP, and this is the kind of hero that can match up against a Darkseer. You go in, trade some hits, when the Ion Shell harass gets too much, you just brain sap and you're back to full. So, could be one way of dealing with the Darkseer.
Yeah, I noticed that all of Team Freedom right now are very single target oriented. I mean, you've got a Batten who's going to be running in onto one person, spraying out his damage there. Spectre, notorious right clicker onto one person, spare the haunt, and Bane, all his abilities are focused on getting one person locked down and killed. So, Team Freedom, they're sticking with the purple single target strat. Oh, or not, as they pick up a Death Prophet here. That's going to be a mid-Death Prophet, and that's going to do a lot in lane up against the Invoker. And with the Lone Druid picked up, I think that's super important. I think Death Prophet needs to get everything she can out of the early game, because Shazam, that's their late game pick.
Yeah, and I mean, it's exactly like you say, because they do have so much single target focus, they need something to do more AoE damage. The Death Prophet, a really nice pick for that, but something they might be a little less comfortable with than some of these other picks. I mean, from what I can see, Death Prophet, they've only played it once in the past month, and that was a loss. So whether they can work around it, I mean, they've got some really nice defensive tools for her while the exorcism's running. You've got, of course, Abaddon's Aphotic Shield, but you've also got a Nightmare from Bane that can potentially discourage aggression. So they have ways of keeping her up while that exorcism's rolling. But against heroes like the Lone Druid Bear and like the Invoker, that is not always the easiest thing to do to stay alive. And if Death Prophet falls off, she falls off fast and hard, and it's hard for her to come back. So a bit of a risky pick, but it makes sense with the rest of their lineup.
Definitely a risky pick here, and that means that Team Freedom are still looking to pick up one of their supports. Could be a babysitter, could be more of a roamer. What do you think Freedom should pick up to, help the Death Prophet stay online as much as possible, help the Spectre not die?
That's tough. I mean, if they want to go for just comfort, they could potentially go for... Actually, there's not a whole lot of supports that they commonly run. This is one of the more versatile teams as far as support play. They could potentially, I know it's IX Mike, so it'll probably be an offlane Abaddon, but you could have the Abaddon in the support role and pick up something else for Mike with the Death Prophet. Anything that can disrupt the fight. I mean, the Spirit Breaker's banned out. You could... I want to say Clockwork, just because I like seeing IX Mike play the hero, but I don't think it's actually very strong, this meta. You could potentially see something with a little more control, like a Jakiro. It synergizes well with the pushiness of the Death Prophet. They'll go for an Oracle. So Babysitter, like you called it exactly. With the Abaddon, you've got so much save potential. And with the Death Prophet in the field, that makes sense. You can False Promise, you can extend that Exorcism.
Yeah, that Oracle is going to be a fantastic babysitter in lane with the Spectre, because again, you can purge off the Darkseer Ion Shells, and how does Shazam respond to this? Do they want to switch up the long and short lanes to make sure that Darkseer is really able to get a lot done?
I don't think they need to. Darkseer, the fact that he's not going to be able to farm in lane does not necessarily slow him down. Of course, it would be better if he could find that and get the harass off, but having to fall back to the jungle doesn't actually really give him that hard. He's an excellent jungle farmer. Though it's a bit risky switching up your lanes like that, as they'll go for a last pick Undying, so maybe they actually just dual aggressive here. And the Undying with the Darkseer is a scary, scary combination for the Spectre. The Spectre is melee, and so Jason and Brax would be able to harass him very heavily. And I'm actually kind of hoping to see that matchup here. That does leave Lone Druid in a solo lane up against the Abaddon, but that's something that he can be completely comfortable with.
Yeah, I like that Shazam are going with some very flex picks here. They don't have a traditional babysitter, which could be somewhat of a problem, but again, Lone Druid kind of takes care of himself. Invoker doesn't usually need that much help, although against a Death Prophet, Bounty Hunter may have his work cut out for him. So if they can get a really nice aggressive lane going with that Darkseer Undying, or, heck, even Druid Undying, then, as long as Shazam win a lane and hold mid, I think they have a serious potential to take this game. But Team Freedom, I really like this draft. It's interesting. It's not traditional whatsoever. Neither of these teams are, but, we're in NA Dota. Anything could happen.
Yeah, and I actually really love the synergy of Freedom's lineup here. It is going to be on Shazam to make something happen. The clock is on them. The pressure is on them, because they don't actually match up that well late game against both the Death Prophet and the Spectre. The Lone Druid can be a terrifying carry in his own right. No pun intended on TC there. But I literally didn't mean it. But
sure.
The Invoker, as soon as the BKB start coming out for the Death Prophet, the Invoker loses some of his effectiveness. And the Lone Druid Bear, late game, that bear dies very quickly to both the Soul Siphon, pure damage, as well as the Spectre. So it will be on Shazam to make those early rotations happen, to not lose their lanes and take control of the mid lane. Or the mid-game, rather.
30 seconds
Looking forward to seeing if they can pull it off.
Alright, so before the blood starts shedding here, we can go ahead and introduce the teams. On the Radiant side, we've got Shazam. It's going to be Brax on that off-lane Darkseer, and clumped up down bottom here, we've got Pandago standing in on the Bounty Hunter. There's going to be Lone Druid played by TC, MSS taking up that mid Invoker, and Jason going to be on that aggro support Undying. And how is Freedom looking?
Well, it'll be Sunby carrying on that Spectre in the safe lane. It'll be Boris going towards the mid lane on the Death Prophet. Jubei supporting on the Bane. It'll be IX Mike taking the Abaddon towards the off lane, and that finally leaves Eagle supporting in the safe lane on the Oracle.
Alright, so predictions for lanes. It looks like we are going to have a bit of a duel going out, as Bane will be sticking around for at least a little bit for the Death Prophet. And you know, one good Nightmare could set up for an awesome Spirit Siphon Death Prophet. Oh, we got River Vials going here. This is a real game. MSS dunking in the Chrome.
Yeah, and they're anticipating Pandago being here. Jubei reads that they probably want to try and secure the lane for MSS. The matchup does slightly favor the Death Prophet. And so they anticipate that that will be the play from Shazam. They bring in the Bane just to make sure that Boris gets off to the good start that he wants. They have planted one sentry. Pandago has 2 more.
Oh, down bottom. IX Mike going to be frontlining up against Jason, so it's like you called. It's going to be the Undying sitting here with TC going in to make this a very difficult lane for IX Mike to get up front in, but I mean, IX Mike, of every offlaner I've ever seen, he is just one of the most all-in, YOLO, you know, pedal to the metal, just go in, get it done. So with that Aphotic Shield, he has a great tool to do so, and we'll get Jason quite low. He himself may just sit back and salve up, but for now, no blood spilled just yet.
It's a tough lane for him, honestly, because the Lone Druid Bear can break the Aphotic Shield away from heroes, so it doesn't take too much damage from that. And Undying as well can harass really nicely just with that the decay, because it doesn't do damage, it just steals strength, so lowers him without proccing the shield.
He is going to have to go salve up. He just takes a little too much damage from the Undying, and TC is farming pretty well here, sitting second on that last hit chart. Our big leader is the Spectre for now. Now mid lane, MSS has to be going underneath his own tower. There will be a nice Nightmare up from the Bane. Let's see if Boris wants to capitalize on this. Has the Spirit Siphon at the ready. Looks like they may be going in. There is going to be Oracle trying to do what they can. The first blood will go the way of Boris, as Freedom's able to take out the Invoker mid lane.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with the Oracle there. Doesn't have enough escape against the slow of the Soul Siphon. And a nice rotation from the Oracle, really making sure that this lane is secured for the Death Prophet. We talked in the draft how she can fall behind, and if so, will not have a good game. So they're making sure that she does have that great early start.
Up top, we almost saw a kill on the Spectre, but using that Spectral Dagger free pathing, was able to go through the trees, salve up a little bit. Now Oracle rejoins the party, and you know, it's that was pretty much a huge window for Brax and Pandago to be able to go in and get the Spectre down, but they weren't successful. So maybe a little bit more aggression out of these guys could pay off. But speaking of aggression, down bottom, Abaddon does end up going down. We saw him underneath the tier 1. He was desperately looking for the kill on Jason, but didn't find it just yet. Jason was able to strength on through that. So good playing by the Undying, maybe just a little bit too much aggression from IX Mike, but he doesn't know the meaning of the word relax.
It's always so tempting to go in on that Undying. He's so low, you think, oh, I can definitely get this. And then he turns, he decays, all of a sudden he's stronger than you thought he was. It's just really deceptive and hard to play well against that hero in those kind of situations.
Down bottom, IX Mike, he's back and he's angry. He's going for that 1-1-1 build, and with the offlane Abaddon, you usually don't see that miscoil picked up at level 3, and is there a huge reason for that, or I don't know, it feels like he could get a lot more use out of the level 2 shield.
Well, I mean, if he was against a traditional melee core instead of this bear, maybe that would be the case, but because the bear can proc the shield away from the hero, it's not as good early as otherwise. Mist Coil is actually a relatively decent nuke. It does cost mana, of course, or health rather, but the potential is there for him to get that one final death blow on a running away hero with it. So it's kind of a value point.
Oh, speaking of death blows, up top, Pandago gets solo, will eventually get nuked down. He was just going in and out, unsure what to do. There will be a Nightmare saving Eagle's life. Eagle just scooting on away, does not want to deal with Brax. There will be a Sunstride coming out, going to be off the mark as Eagle hangs around into the fight. Now the Ion Shell is doing some serious work onto Sunbee, but Brax knows he has to back off as there is a Brain Sap at the ready. It's only level 1, but Brax is still pretty squishy here, only having about 800 HP. Now down bottom, IX Mike down at it. We'll take a root. We'll take a Savage Roar from the bear. Has to run away. Will be kept alive from the shield, but IX Mike is still only level 4. Does not have that borrowed time to bail him out of sticky situations.
Yeah, like I said, very difficult lane for him. He's doing fine as far as levels go. He's only died the once, but his last hits are falling a little bit behind. You compare that to the Darkseer, who of course in the offlane role is bullying the Spectre Brax. Now your last hit leader. And his colleagues in the mid and safe lane not far behind him. So good start for the Radiant so far, despite the kill score.
Yeah, I mean, they'll start to pick up kills as Invoker finds more and more teamfight potential as Darkseer joins the party. I mean, Darkseer's already level 5, we'll be picking up that level 6 pretty soon, and his skill build will determine what he wants to do. If he goes for a couple points in Vacuum, if he goes for that wall, he's going to want to start teamfighting early, but if he just sits back, maxes out the Ion Shell, maxes out the Surge, they can stay in lane for a decently long time. Now, mid lane, Boris in some trouble, will get cold snapped up, Shuriken bounces, gonna be eating up a Fairy Fire, gonna go in the Soul Siphon, and Pandango forced to back off, so no kill on Boris just yet. Is able to get that regen from the bottle, from the salve, and MSS just needed to drop one more spell, one more hit, but a little bit too much caution from this guy so far.
They didn't necessarily have a whole lot else to throw, and Soul Siphon is just such an annoying ability to play against. Now, it looks like there will be a smoke play towards top lane, both Eagle and Jubei moving up. They maybe look for a kill on this Darkseer. Brax has been a huge annoyance for them. And with the purge of the Scourge available, they could potentially get the catch here. I imagine the play will be Nightmare to enable Sunby time to move over and join them. But he's hiding in the trees, being very cautious, and they do know he's there somewhere. Eagle will spot him out. Can they actually get the kill, though?
They're looking for something here. They will go through. They got that perch. Now he's surged up. Is going to end up getting held in place. He tries to live, but there's no way. There's 3 heroes munching away at him. They didn't even use Bane's full kit. They still had the Nightmare available if he started to walk through that. So easy kill on the Darkseer. That's going to be Darkseer's first kill of the game. Will set him back in terms of farm, allowing the Spectre to overtake that CS chart. Pretty needed from the Spectre at this point. Now she has her phase boots. Do you think we're going to see, straight into Radiance, or will we see stepping stones like the drums or the urn or the diffusal?
I think he's going to be looking to match the timing of the rest of his team. And in other words, fighting around when the Death Prophet has 6 and when he has Haunt. You want to be able to bring all of your resources to a tower push when you go for that Exorcism play. And so I'm expecting him to go an early stats kind of build.
Alright, so mid lane, again, a little bit of a stalemate here. None of the blood has been shed until the supports join the party, so MSS and Death Prophet, both of them, both ranged, they both have a decent amount of survivability, they both have a decent amount of nuke, but they're playing nice for now. Meanwhile, here we have Jason joining up with TC going into the jungle.
Oh, the Sunstrike!
Oh, God, where did that even... IX Mike just got nuked.
Yeah, he did have some vision from the ward, so Mike walking in a straight line, not ready for that. And
Haunt in mid.
No, he may pay with his life.
Yeah, MSS trying to TP out, will not be successful. Again, Soul Siphon, great spell. Grip Swarm also does a fair amount of damage, so it took a haunt from the Spectre, but they are able to secure a second kill onto the Invoker, and now that means an Exorcism in the mid lane. Fortify immediately popped from Shazam. They don't want to lose this without a fight, but they've really only got Pandango in the vicinity, so looks like this tower may end up going down, burning slowly. Sunby taking a couple tower shots there, but no big deal as, well, can they get it done before the Exorcism expires?
I believe they can. There is rotations through, though, and because they are low, they may just not want to risk it. Pandango with the Ion Shell on him. This is irritating the Sunstrike!
Oh, man. MSS, back with a vengeance, is able to go through with a second Sunstrike kill onto the Death Prophet, so he himself did not get experience for that kill as he was still back at base after respawning, but at least getting the Death Prophet down, making sure that she's just not around to get XP from that tower drop-in. Very, very good play, so Shazam don't lose as much as they potentially could have.
No more sentries in the mid lane, so they didn't see him coming. The Ion Shell damage caught the Death Prophet a little by surprise, and the Sunstrike to finish it off. Really nice combo. And once again, these Sunstrikes from MSS have just been on absolute point. I also wanted to mention, though, that Eagle on this Oracle, I mean, I've seen the guy play the hero before, and he always impresses me. 2-0 and 2 on him. He's been involved in every single kill across the map. He's been finding amazing rotations. And I mean, we talk about the hero as a lane babysitter, but he has not been playing it that way. He moves, he helps find kills, and it's been very effective for Freedom.
They're smoking around here. They know Invoker's in the jungle, but they don't have a whole lot of jump. I mean, Sunby still has to be spoon-fed those kills, is decently speedy with the Spectral Dagger and the Phase Boots, but can't go in too deeply. But as we say that, just kind of face-rolling here into MSS. Meanwhile, down bottom, they were able to take down IX Mike on the Abaddon, but back to mid, there is going to be that Purge thrown out onto MSS, going to be standing in place, taking a full duration Spirit Siphon. Now Brax, trying to be the hero here, does have that point and wall if needed, but Boris still feeling tanky, getting healed up by the Oracle. There's going to be a dust revealing Pandango. Boris, he's still healing up! Now Brax is going back through will not get a chance to cast as well before he goes down. It's going to be a killing spree from the Oracle, like you were talking about. He's doing so great. Now Pandago is going to have this dust wear off. There is going to be a Crypt Swarm doing some more damage, and he has that Ion Shell, so he's slowly but steadily taking down Sunbee, and Sunbee could be in some trouble. There's going to be a Tombstone dropped. They will be able to get the kill onto the Spectre.
Oh,
now
nice
Pandago
heal.
might pay for this with his life, but no. It's just going to be a 1 for 2. Oracle and Spectre dropping. Definitely worth the Darkseer, but a very, very drawn-out fight there.
Yeah, I mean, I did say that the Spectre was going to want to go for an early aggressive kind of build, but I was not expecting them to be running around under the enemy's tier 2s at 10 minutes in. Like, sit in lane and farm, man. Come in when you've got Haunt, but that was maybe a little over-aggressive from them.
Yeah, I mean, Spectre's doing fantastically here, but there was no reason to go in that deeply. They could have gone in, got their damage on this tier 1, and just backed off back to lane, and you know, we'll see if Freedom want to show a little bit of restraint, or they're going full throttle the entire game, and I mean, usually Freedom play a little bit on the edge. They enjoy taking those big risks. Oh, down bottom, TC could be in some trouble. There's going to be another Haunt in. Nice Savage Roar. We'll keep everyone alive. TC will end up taking a dagger. Now they've got Boris coming through. Oracle just spritzing out those Fortune's End. That's going to be enough nuke damage to get him down. So that's going to be TC's first death of the game, forcing him out of the lane. And now there is going to be another Exorcism securing this bottom tower.
Yeah. A decently leveled Oracle is always just an unexpected amount of damage. And the fact is that he's already level 6. He's found a lot of XP thanks to all these kills he's been a part of. And 4, 1, and 3, and now the score on him. They'll claim this tower as well. So, more often than not, excellent movement coming out. And now top lane, yeah.
Brax. Okay, Bane's going to go out throwing a dust to make sure the Bounty Hunter's not in the vicinity. Brax just takes a Fiend's Grip right to the head, and there's nothing he can do about it. I mean, he wanted to go and he wanted to be the hero and cut the lane, but he's got to realize that Freedom are ready for rotations. They're ready to hop in and punish him, and again, there was no reason he needed to die.
Yeah, and it was just a really nice heads-up play from Jibbe, throwing out that dust, not wanting his ultimate to get cancelled. He wanted to get the full value out of it, so just going to double-check.
Make sure there's no sneaky Pandago running around.
Alright, so we've got everyone sitting here in this Chrome River looking to group up. Do they have any sort of smoke? No. They're just going to be going full in. And Invoker, he does opt to go for the Hand of Midas into a Drums after picking up the Aquila, so definitely looking for those stats, looking for that late game carry, but at the cost of really getting his first big item out. Now down bottom, okay, TC once again fighting for his life. We'll get a nice route onto IX Mike. IX Mike now chasing back through. Looks like there's going to be no more bloodshed, but TC, he lost that free lane of his, and that's going to be pretty costly.
Yeah, he's still doing quite well as far as net worth goes, but he is being slowed down now. He's got the Midas online, but they do want that Radiance up as soon as humanly possible, because of course the ticking time bomb of the Exorcism and the Spectre is hanging over their heads, and normally a lineup that is very comfortable going late with the Invoker and the Lone Druid, but maybe this time they don't want to risk going up late against this.
Spectre TPing back to base, and that means that TP is on cooldown. So Freedom, they're going to be going for a tier 2 trade, and you know, everyone's pretty much sitting on that TP scroll ready to hop back, but who's going to be the first one to chicken out? We are going to have a TP in from the Invoker. He's not exactly teamfight ready here. I mean, he's got that cold snap, he puts out his Forged Spirits, but we're not going to see any crazy Tornado, EMP, Deafening Blast combos. Now the scan will reveal that Boris is still sitting in the jungle. So Radiant have a little bit of a jump point if they want to go in for something. IX Mike, going to be a frontliner here. We'll get munched up, popping into that borrowed time. He's going to have to sit back. He's going to have to wait till his ulti cools down. Will be spam healed up by the Oracle, but on the backlines, Pandago shows himself just a little bit. Is going to be subject to a Fiend's Grip. There's going to be a Haunt coming back through. Who do they look on here? They're going to be going straight through. That Haunt will connect. They get down the Tombstone. Now they're looking for Jason. He's going to be taking that Purge. He hops into that ultimate form. Nice backing will connect on a bunch. Brax still alive. Will not be enough to kill him. The Spirit Siphon ends just a moment too soon, and now Boris able to sit there dueling his own illusion down, and everyone from Freedom will be A-okay. They get down the bounty. They force back the Darkseer, and they will have some more free push on this tower.
Yeah, and they do only lose one. It could have been a lot worse, but they were forced to commit the wall. They don't get any kills out of it. And this Freedom lineup just so sustainable. Jason maybe going down here. The Ice Wall will keep him alive for now. One last miscoil attempt from IX Mike. Won't find it.
I mean, I'm struggling to think of another team that would dare to run Spectre at 14 minutes as a frontlaner going in for picks under tier 3s.
Well, but they can do it because of their lineup, right? I mean, that's the crazy thing. This is completely legitimate when you've got both an Abaddon and an Oracle sitting behind you. And then that's the genius of this particular lineup, is that Sunby can play so aggressively on a hero that is normally quite weak early. He's got those 4 points up in Spectral Dagger and 3 in Desolate. So despite the fact that he doesn't really have a lot of items just yet, he hits hard.
Absolutely. Now up top we are going to have some push as TC rotates into the enemy side of the map to finally look for some much needed XP, and he is going to be sitting at the top of the net worth chart, him and the Invoker, both doing very, very well in terms of their farm, but you look at the distribution, it's going to be the 2 cores sitting way at the top of the chart, but their 2 supports, I mean, they're getting nothing out of the map. Undying hasn't died, but he's net bottom just because he can't find anything but arcanes. He's not getting farm priority, he's not really getting kills. You know, where does he get his gold? How does he become useful for these fights?
Well, hopefully he gets his gold via track kills, because the bounty hunter is level 6 now, and that's one way for him to get back in the game. He needs that gold from those tracks, because this is a hero that falls off hard. And he can stay relevant a little bit longer if he finds the right items, if he can find those AoE aura items for his team, but at the rate he's currently farming, those are all a long way away, and it isn't very long until the tombstone stops being useful. In fact, he's not even leveling it. He's got 2 points, but he's prioritizing the Soul Rip just for that heal.
Let's go ahead and talk about things that could destroy you here. We've got the Oracle picking up that Veil of Discord. Basically everyone on Freedom has an opportunity to amplify their damage with that Veil. This is going to get so dirty now up top. We are going to have Junpei finding out this bear. Just going to be holding it in place for a little bit. Nothing great happening out of that. So, alright, back to Eagle here. This Oracle is just on a roll. What does he pick up next to get the absolute most done for his team?
He's got a lot of options, really. I wouldn't mind at some point
Seeing a Blink Dagger on him.
just for the positioning. He doesn't want to get caught out, but still wants to be able to contribute to the fight. So the ability to move in, find the False Promise on the right hero at the right time. He could even just go for a Force Staff instead, and that way it's not only for himself to position, but also a defensive tool against some of these control heroes.
Pandago going to be walking underneath the center board, and now with Eagle going on him, does get some vision here. He's going to go, there's going to be a haunt in, so very, very aggressive play for Freedom. Let's see if they can get away with it as Eagle might end up going down here. Is going to be taking a deafening blast right to the face. MSS running away at the tombstone, being munched on by IX Mike, and now everyone on the backlines will heal up from Shazam. They've got that mech online from the Darkseer, so they're looking to re-engage, but Freedom might not give them that window. They're clumped up, but they're sticking back behind this tree line. Everyone going to be tracked up by that bounty hunter as Freedom. They're looking for more. They're going to be throwing out the Spectral Dagger. There's going to be an Exorcism as well. Zoning Exorcism looking for some damage onto the tower. There's going to be Pandago getting very, very low. IX Mike hopping into the borrowed time as Brax, the Nightmare, will end. So he's able to go back through. Does have that vacuum wall available, but not going to find a window for it as Freedom. They're playing this perfectly. Their positioning is completely on point. The Veils spamming out. Sunby going through. The Spectral Dagger just destroys Undying, courtesy that Veil of Discord amplifying the damage. Now the tier 2 goes down. Freedom, what a flawless fight from them.
Well, it's just so annoying for Shazam. There's so much sustain on this squad on the Dire side. You saw it, the Haunt came out, they popped their mech, they kept everyone alive, but then, you know, mech's down, and Tombstone's down, and Freedom still have the Exorcism, they still have all their big spells and cooldowns.
Brax,
they can just
once
go back
again, just way up in it, will eat a Fiend's Grip, and I mean that's going to be the second or third time he's just been trying to clear out lanes but gets punished by the Bane, because Bane, we talked about it in draft, he is just made of single target lockdown.
Yeah.
This is basically the lineup that hard counters the Darkseer.
I can't think of a combination of heroes that better just wreck that guy. And it's going to be a problem as
He is their offlaner. He needs to be able to
have that farm, find that teamfight presence, but
not been able to really do so far. Has only been involved in 3 of the 6 kills and is 4 of the 10 deaths.
not been a great game for Brax. The good thing while all this is happening, though, is that TC continues to just do his own thing and farm up. He's got that Relic online really close to the Radiance at this point. And he is top of the net worth by a pretty decent margin. So the fact that Freedom are grouping up is going to lead to a pretty decent advantage for this lone druid. He's not been participating. He's been finding his stuff on the other side of the map and keeping him up top. And they've got to be careful. You know, if they go for a committal onto a tower and he's not around, he can take a building almost as fast as they can.
Alright, so it looks like the game plan might be to walk up mid and look for a kill on this Spectre. That's what Shazam are doodling on the map at least, and we'll see if they're going to go in with the smoke. This is a lineup that does benefit a lot from Roche on both sides, and first row shot is still unclaimed at 20 minutes in. Who do you think is going to make the first move into the pit?
It's just so much easier at this point for Dire.
They do have the tier 1 down in both the mid lane and the safe lane, so Radiant's access to that pit is very, very minimal. They do have some nice Radiant vision around the pit area, but of course Freedom can just smoke and head in.
Well, speaking of smoking and heading in, we do have a smoke rotation. Looks like Bounty Hunter will end up pinging out Eagle. And we'll see if the rest of the Radiant want to rotate in. They're going to take the long way around. Bounty Hunter is spotted. There's going to be a dust. There's going to be a haunt. All right, everything for Fandango. But now on the back lines, looks like Sunbeam could end up taking a Meteor. Jubei going to be the first one to go down. Will end up getting some help out from that Oracle, but I don't know if he lives through this. He's going to try to TP home, vacuum up. Will get Sunbeam locked down. Sunbeam may end up being the trade here that will be successful kill for Invoker. And there is going to be an Exorcism coming in from Boris, but Boris getting used up in the air. Oh, golly. Trying to live through this. IX Mike is able to go through the borrowed time. TC, he's a monster here. Chunking on Boris with the Bear. Now the Soul Siphon doing some serious work. Getting Boris back his health. The Exorcism will heal him up as well. So far, it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade, but Freedom loses that Spectre, whereas all the cores on Shazam stay alive.
Yeah. It may have been a slight misplay from Boris popping the Exorcism there. Two of their heroes were already dead, and he tries to go in and make the play, but unfortunately, they don't get anything else, and that is a very long cooldown down, and that gives Shazam more of a window to farm up, take back control of the map. Without that Exorcism online, they can play a lot more aggressively.
Alright, so now here at the 20-minute mark, looking at overall XP, we're pretty close to 0. Gold, very similar story, sub 1,000 lead, and we talked about how Freedom hold on really, really well into the late game, but, you know, TC on that Lone Druid getting a lot of farm, and Foker as well doing his part, and I really think Shazam, they're going to be hitting a power spike very, very soon. They've got to take full advantage of that.
Agreed. They really do. If they don't take advantage of having the current advantage they do, with the Radiants just picked up, they're at a very strong point right now. MSS has the Ags as well, so they've got a couple of really big item pickups online. They want to try and go for this because of the sustain on Freedom. You know, it doesn't matter how much damage the Bear has, it's not burst damage. And so late game, they can just keep everyone healthy and just slowly whittle down Shazam.
Alright, so the Bear gonna be the target of all the damage spread out. The Veils doing their work. They will be able to chunk down the Bear and get a nice 300 gold. Resummon is available from the Lone Druid. When he needs it, he pops out a new one. Tower does end up going down. It goes to the Invoker, so no deny out from Freedom. That's gonna be a decent chunk of gold going the way of Shazam. Putting Invoker over the edge to get his Aghanim Scepter. Now he's got almost 1,000 more gold to work with. What does he go next? Does he go something super greedy like an Octarine, or does he work on a Yule's?
Sorry, which hero are we talking about?
Invoker.
Invoker. I don't like the Yules after the Aghanim Scepter. Octarine might be nice, but mobility may be more important against these particular heroes. So he does want to be able to get on the back lines, be able to blow up heroes like the Oracle and the Bane. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for that Blink. Yeah. Octarine is a perfectly valid choice too, but that's more what I would expect.
I like the Blink, but with Spectre going to be going Radiance, we'll pick it up in the next 5 or so minutes. The Blink Dagger could be cancelled a lot if he's trying to use it to jump out of the fights.
That's actually a really good point. And that may mean that he doesn't want to go for it after all, because the Haunt, of course, means that as soon as the Spectre pops that ability, your 2,100 gold, 2,200 gold item is garbage for that next few seconds. So Octarine is a fine choice here. I would really like to see, actually, I would almost rather see the Refresher than the Octarine.
It's early for a Refresher. We'll have to see. As down bottom, there will be a group up. They're looking for a kill into Sunbee. They do have Pandago there. Does have that Janata. Does have that Shuriken Toss. Will be spraying it out. Goes in. There's going to be a Haunt away, but Sunbee gets Savage roared up. Is there just going to be enough damage to take out Sunbee? Sunbee getting healed up by the Mistcoil from IX Mike. On the back lines, I don't think they have anything to take him down. They do have the Sunstrike, will not connect as IX Mike comes in. He's the hero of the day with that Mist Coil, ends up saving Sunbee's life. But that does give some free push to Shazam. They do have TC with his Bear munching on this bottom tower. The Spectral Dagger comes back through. I don't think it's going to be enough of a zoning tool, but here we've got Juby going straight up 1v1 against MSS. He's not going to win that fight, and well, at least Shazam finds something around the map. They will find the tower as well, so Shazam, you know, they're given an inch, they take a mile.
Yeah, and they need to. This is perfectly what Shazam's game plan is here. They've got their timing. They want to take all the buildings off the map, restrict the Spectre's ability to farm with this Radiance that he's now got, or will have in a moment.
Now the Bear, again, taking a full slew of aggression, but, you know, it's worth it. For a 300 gold Bear, that's, you know, half of an Oracle item.
Yeah, and the Bear ticked down to about half after about 4 seconds against the offlaner and the support. And this is the
IX
hero.
Mike, he's all the way in. This guy does not know the meaning of the word chill. He has to use his ult for that, and it's a decently long cooldown, 45 seconds, but it could have been a lot worse for him.
Yeah, and the concern is for me that Shazam, they have damage, but they don't necessarily have burst damage, and the bear has HP, but it doesn't necessarily have enough HP. And if they can burst it down, that's a big chunk of Shazam's network just off the field.
I mean, the
fact that it was dying so quickly makes me a little worried.
Bear could go for something like an Assault Cuirass if it needs that raw survivability, but I agree with what you're saying. If that bear goes down, 5 more times in the duration of the game, that's feeding away like 1,500 gold just to freedom, and that's a full item for a support. That's half an item for a core, and that's something you really can't afford to give away if you're Shazam, playing against heroes that are so farm dependent.
Yeah. And IX Mike just being such a pain, standing on the front line, daring them to go on him. 45 seconds, he's got his borrowed time back off cooldown. And they can't, they're looking for a way to go in on that, but their creep wave gets cleaned up very quickly thanks to the Crypt Swarm, and they can't find an in. And as soon as they go in, Death Prophet pops her exorcism, and then it's a scary fight.
So IX Mike, once again, being the frontliner here, he's doing his best. He's going to be just eating up a big chunk of damage, but there's going to be a vacuum wall. The meteor dropping as well. IX Mike does have that ult, heals him up to full now. Death Prophet with that self-fuel is trying to keep herself healthy, but Boris, I don't know if she's going to be successful. She's getting healed up at the Oracle. She's got the ult on her. Gets a double soul siphon. Now there is going to be a Spectre Haunt trying to turn things around here. Looks like Brax getting very, very low. There is going to be a reality in from the Spectre. Looking for the kill onto Brax. This Radiance might be doing enough work here. She's burning him, but there is going to be Brax getting healed up in the backlands. Now Sunbee could be in some trouble, getting very, very low. Invoker, he wants to get this kill done, but the Purifying Flames from the Oracle might be enough to keep him alive. Jason going in with all his might. There's going to be Pandango with a sliver of health, throwing out a negative urn onto Sunbee, popping the Shuriken bounce, but I don't think it's going to work, as so far they lose the Death Prophet, they lose the Oracle, but the Spectre's still alive. Now Bane going to be in some serious trouble as well. The Cold Snap connects. Looks like they will get the kill on that, courtesy of the Radiance Burn from the Bear, so it's going to be an 0 for 3. Darkseer led off with a stern warning. What fantastic show from Shazam.
Yeah, and thanks to the track kills that came out, it ends up being a 2,000 gold swing. So a really nice influx of gold for Shazam, and more importantly, space to take this tower, which they were really struggling with. But just an absolutely stunning initiation from Shazam there. They were patient, they waited for the exact right time, they find the vacuum wall on the important heroes, and it works out for them.
Alright, so the tower goes down. That's going to be more and more map advantage going the way of Shazam. And Freedom, they don't play well turtling in their base. I mean, they have some decent defense, but you've got heroes like the Bane, like the Spectre, like the Death Prophet that want to be out and roaming. Now, speaking of roaming, IX Mike, he's going out pretty far, trying to find something here. Blinks in onto Pandago. He's going full aggro on, well, he will get the kill on the bounty, but it may come at a stern cost. It's IX Mike. He does have his ult. He's looking for more. The EMP burns up all his mana that are going to be going on to the Bear. Another meteor drop in. IX Mike, you might need to pop that borrowed time pretty soon. Oh, Jason actually takes the Veil to the face and will end up popping down from the Oracle, just spraying out those Qs. And now it looks like on the backlines we do have IX Mike going in. We'll get the kill onto the Bear. That goes the way of the Bane with the Brain Sap. So nice gold for that support. And TC, scooting away for his life, doesn't have the Bear for 20 seconds. So might need to be a little bit more conservative spraying out those animals.
Yeah, and I mean, you see IX Mike running at you and you think, it's just an offlaner, let's turn. Well, you can't. The guy just will not die. As I say that, he's got 3 deaths this game, but it seems every time you're up against him like he's not going to die. And I really like this choice from Freedom. They'll take the Aegis, and this is important because they did just lose all their access towers to the Roche pit. So if they didn't go for it now, all of a
oh! Vacuum wall connects on 4. They've got everything. You've got Eagle just trying to TP out. Everyone else will be able to get out safely. IX Mike blinks down to the low ground, but that is successful Roche stop from Shazam. Darkseer with the play of the game so far. Holy hell. Now the meatball will drop onto IX Mike Idiot. He does not have that ultimate. There is going to be a haunt back in from the Spectre looking to turn this. Oh god, just when you thought you were safe, Spectre gets a kill onto the Darkseer. So he pays dearly for that play, but that was unbelievably well executed from him.
Yeah, and Jubai's trapped. He doesn't have a TP. He's stuck up here. I don't think they know he's there. And he's got vision, thanks to Sunbee.
He's going to reveal himself from down below as okay, Spectre still sitting there. It's just going to be burning down slowly but surely. May end up falling, in fact, will end up falling to the Forge Spears. Lone Druid getting the kill on that with the Radiance Burn. Now Boris doesn't want to let this Roshan go down without a fight. What looked like a free Rosh for freedom is now a heavily contested target as okay, Savage Roar will drive back the Dire Heroes for now. The zombie is munching away on Sunby, but is able to get that unlimited pathing with that Spectral Dagger, so going to be eating off that Tombstone, looking to go back into the pit, and you know, Shazam, they spent a lot for this. They don't have a whole lot of ultis to commit. And it's
exorcism still online from Boris. This is so
risky.
bloody.
IX Mike jumping back in. He does have that ulti ready to go. He did briefly get silenced, but not going to be long enough. As alright, MSS from the back lines looking to do what he can. IX Mike pops into the ulti form. It's going to be costly for him if that goes down and he doesn't get anything out of it. Meanwhile, Spectre is able to go and get the Aegis. That's going to be a nice fight. Vacuum back in. Oh, this is going to be a surround from Shazam. They're looking for something. Brack's going to be silenced up, taking a Soul Siphon right to the face on the back lines. You do have the Invoker able to get a kill onto the Oracle, so Oracle won't be saving anyone here. Now, Boris, he's going to get munched on. And the Exorcism doing some serious work. He's able to get a kill onto the Darkseer. Now, they do end up securing the kill onto the Death Prophet with that Sunstrike. Yule's up onto the Bane. Bane trying to run away. He's tracked up, so that could be some good gold going the way of Shazam, but they've got bigger fish to fry as everyone trying to spread out. Now, MSS is going to get Fiend's Gripped up. The Bear is able to munch down the Bane, so that's going to be a lot of gold going the way of Shazam. They're looking for more MSS TPing back. They might be looking here for Sunby. In fact, the Tornado will connect. Great play, great prediction with those Boots of Travels. Now, Sunby looking for that free pathing with the Spectral Dagger going all the way deep. Does have that Tron Portal Scroll to get out of here. Going to be just TPing back to pace, playing it safe. I don't think there's any more catch that Shazam have, but what an amazing showing for them at the pit. In the end, they didn't get the Roche. They gave the Aegis to the Spectre, who did end up burning it, but that was
Very
just
worth it.
very, very worth it. Good golly.
4 track kills,
And they do at least contest the Aegis. It costs Freedom a lot to take that. And, I mean, you just saw MSS on the Invoker. He gets on the back lines and he kills the Oracle. And after that, all of a sudden, Freedom's lineup not nearly as scary. Death Prophet pops her ult, but without that backup, she dies really, really quickly still to all of this damage. She's gone for a Ghost Scepter now, so that will make things a little bit easier, but you do still have that Radiance Burn, and you do still have the Invoker with all of his Magic Burst.
Yeah, Invoker's definitely hitting that power spike. Those Boots of Travels are a relatively new pickup, and he did pick up that Yule's as a stepping stone, so now he could go for something like the Octarine, could go for the Refresher like you were talking about, could sell that drum and buy, you know, whatever the heck he wants to. Now, IX Mike, gonna be in some trouble, takes up a track, might end up forced to pop his ult, no. Just gonna sit back and play this one safe. The Aphotic Shield's keeping him relatively healthy, but MSS, still full mana, full health, and, you know, full green light to initiate onto this high ground.
Yeah, and I really like this choice on the Bear. He's gone for a Hood of Defiance on it, so a little more hard for the Oracle to burst down with the Purifying Flame.
Spectre, stay there for just a little longer. Could have gotten the Courier. It's going to be thrown in the Spectral Dagger. That's going to be a Courier kill unless they speed boost it right now. No, so Spectre, there's nothing on it. It was able to deliver the Tome of Knowledge and some wards up to, I believe, who's holding wards for the Radiant? I'm not quite sure. Either way,
It's
empty
Pandora,
Courier.
I think.
And Sunby feels like she's starving. I mean, she did get the Radiance online at a decent time, does have the Yasha looking for the Manta, but Spectre is sitting a third on the net worth chart by a pretty large margin. Now, there's going to be the fight here. We do have a Tornado up in the air. We'll catch out IX Mike. He's going to get most of his mana burned, so not as many Aphotic Shields in the fight. They're going to be going in once again onto the Bear. Huge aggro popped out the pipe from the Radiant. Or rather, the Hood of Defiance mini pipe, keeping the Bear alive.
Yeah. And like you said, the Spectre's starting to fall behind as far as net worth goes, and that's the danger of fighting against Lone Druid lineup, right? They take down all your other towers, save one at the moment, and that does limit his ability to farm safely. Now, jump forward from IX Mike.
Yeah, it's going to be a Haunt coming back through. Who do they turn on? Oh, they just blow up the Undying! That's going to be Pandago now, sitting very, very low health. IX Mike could be in some trouble. He's going to pop into his ultimate form. There was a nice vacuum wall, nice tombstone, but it's going to be enough here. We already have 2 down on Shazam. Oh, okay, there's going to be an Exorcism coming out from the Death Prophet as well. Eagle may end up burning Ghost, gets defensively Yuled up. Now, going to be trying to live through this. As Bane, going to be taking a cold snap right to the face. The Brain Sap was not enough health for him, and so it's Godlike Streak for MSS. MSS now running for his life, cannot afford to feed that streak. IX Mike does have the gem, so this Ghost Walk isn't fooling anyone, but they just don't have the damage, they don't have the catch. Right now, Freedom, they get a very successful fight. They take out 2 supports on Shazam, only costing 1 of theirs, and they're able to go in and defend against that high ground push.
Yeah, it's really hard for Shazam to actually get onto the high ground and do damage to buildings without maybe getting a pick off first. They do about half damage to the tier 3, but they spent a lot of time working on that. And I'm really curious how they're going to play it from now on, whether they do just go for that slow siege kind of play. Like, it didn't look like it was being all that effective, but the bear did get some damage on the tower. He can get multiple summons of it. I mean, was it... Maybe it was with you, or maybe it was with someone else, but I did recently cast a game where the Lone Druid had Eggs Refresher on his hero and just constantly had
that was
3
me.
bears.
That was our 70-minute WCA game, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, if you're worried about losing your bear too quick, just get a refresher. Have 3 of them. No big deal.
Yeah, but then it comes all out to the bear's momentum, and if, God forbid, TC never has a bear on him, that's going to be, you know, GG, because Shazam just cannot fight. They cannot put up any sort of front lineup, and, you know, I think TC built himself into be more of that team fight dependent buddy, not so much the bear versus the world kind of person.
Agreed, yeah.
Okay, there's going to be a tornado up onto IX Mike. He does have his ulti. May end up forcing it. Nice vacuum wall here, zoning everyone back. The Meteor doing so much work. IX Mike may be the only survivor as Boris getting super, super low, trying to heal up the best he can, but okay, we've got everyone just going through, trying to get the work done. Pandego goes in a little bit deep. Will get healed up by the Undying. Sunstrike slightly off the mark here. We have IX Mike still trying to frontline, still trying to take out these zombies. Now there is going to be a haunt back through. Where does the haunt connect? Spectre is going to be realitying in onto TC. TC goes in. Nice Savage Roar. Keeping the Dire back. They're going to get out free for this. They went in with so much aggression. Are they going to be able to live? That's going to be the key point. As IX Mike goes in, gets the Yules onto the bear. That's Death Prophet with that. Oh, nice vacuum! They're turning this around. They want to reinitiate. Pandego gets stuck in place courtesy of Eagle. Now Eagle running away will get munched on by the bear. Jason has to run from this Soul Siphon, try to heal himself up. I don't know if it's enough. He is going to get Glimmer Caped away, and that should be a free retreat for Shazam if they're able to go get everything out smoothly, and that will be the case. So very expensive fight for freedom. A lot of deaths.
And Boris uses the Exorcism miles away from any objectives. Once again, they don't get any kills out of it. And that is absolutely huge for Shazam. The fact that they don't have to deal with that Exorcism for another 2 minutes. Unfortunately, he didn't finish the Octarine core until after he popped it, so that cooldown not affected this time around. That's a pretty decent window.
Yeah, I mean, Shazam, they've got a green light for this. It's just a matter of getting themselves together, finding another key point. That Brax has just been a unreal machine with these vacuum walls. Like, the first one was like, eh, and everything since then has been absurdly helpful for his team.
There's a reason why they love the hero. I think the guy has something like 80% win rate on the hero in the last month. They played it 10 times.
Yeah, he's just really solid. He knows the hero extremely well. And these vacuum walls...
I mean, there's a lot of times you see a Darkseer game and you kind of really don't feel his impact. That is not the case here.
Alright, speaking of impact, we do have IX Mike once again frontlining here. Jason will get surged up and might be able to get away. On the backlands, we have Pandego being sneaky, was able to pop down a high ground ward, and Jason, he will get stunned up. That Curse of the Avernus getting some decent slow, and Jason just goes down to a Mist Coil, so IX Mike finds something for his time, but meanwhile, you've got the rest of the Radiant going through. MSS is just going to unload onto Sunbee here. He pops the Alacrity. There is going to be a Manta up, but the Tornado will cut right through the Delusion, the Ice Wall as well. Sunbee does have that Haunt, will look to get away, and is going to be going, where does he end up? Down bottom here. Spectre, where are you at? Super, super low. Realitying back into the jaws of Pandego. Pandego is able to go in and get that kill with the Shuriken Toss, so I believe that was not a track kill, but Spectre dead for 70 seconds nonetheless.
Yeah, he wanted to prioritize actually getting the kill. Spectre jumps 2 times in the Haunt, almost saves his own life, but not quite.
Alright, now Pandego just full throttle, wanting to go in right onto Eagle. Pandego himself is kind of squishy, hasn't picked up those Greaves, leaving that to Brax instead, just sitting on those Arcane Boots. He's got the Plate Mail, so could this be like a Lotus Sword bounty?
I would expect so. That's a really common build on the hero, and it's great. He can put it on the Lone Druid Bear. It makes their high ground siege a lot better.
Man, this is, it's looking pretty tough for Freedom. Now, mid lane, we are going to have IX Mike out on his own, and he does have that ulti, but there's only so much I can do to save him. The Cold Snap unloaded, he will proc the ulti now, and, well, he's running back, does take a track. MSS goes in with that Yule Scepter, might be able to follow up. Force Staff out from Pandego, but he's got that Blink at the ready. Now, IX Mike, oh, Deafening Blast! He's just going all in for this. MSS may commit a little bit too deeply as Eagle now joins the party, so backing off, forcing out some spells from Invoker. And Freedom, you know, not too wounded.
That is a really interesting interaction that I have not noticed before. Because he had his ult on when he was Yuled up, the Yule's drop did not actually do damage to him, it healed him instead, which enabled him to get the immediate blink out.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, there's no way he should have lived there except for that mechanic. And knowing the hero well, he takes advantage of it. But
Once
Tornado,
again, he's tracked up. He now does have that ulti off cooldown, so he could go in for it again. Oracle doing the best he can. IX Mike, this guy is just one of the strongest frontliners in the game. He's got his favorite hero, Abaddon. Now Brax is going to be nightmared up. He's got that Glimmer Cape, so should be able to get back safely. But all of Shazam now waiting at the ready, looking for anyone, even the slightest bit out of position to go jump. And now IX Mike might just fit that bill, as you've got the bear munching on the tower with alacrity. That guy is hitting so hard, turning his attention onto the Abaddon. Now in the mid lane, we do have Oracle jumping down to the low ground, going to be popping in that ultimate onto himself. And I'm not quite sure if Eagle is going to be taking enough to live through this. He's still got those yellow flames. He's going to go Yules himself up. Oh, vacuum wall once again! Brax, please relax, as the EMP will go through. Defensive Yules up from Boris, but she is not long for this world. The bear munching away on her. She gets a triple soul siphon, but I don't even think that's enough, as Boris will get roared up, will get brought down. Mega kill streak for TC. This is going to get dirty now, as there is going to be a buyback onto the Death Prophet. Bane just sitting here trying to look for something. There will be a haunt back in. IX Mike joins the party. Who's the reality going to be on? Well, so far nothing. Spectre ends up popping through back lines of the fight. Nice tornado, nice EMP from MSS. Deafening Blast as well, which will catch out Boris. Boris has that Octarine, so not too much mana burned on the back lines. TC ends up getting a kill onto the Bane somehow. I think it was just Burn from Bear Radiance now looking for a kill onto the Death Prophet. She doesn't have her ulti. She doesn't have a whole lot she can do. Nice vacuum in from the Darkseer, bringing everyone right into the Bear's jaws. I know there's going to be a blink down to the low ground from IX Mike. Will he be so lucky to escape this time? I'm not quite sure. As there's going to be an ice wall, there's going to be a tornado, there's going to be some raw damage. He looks to go in and is not successful to live through that fight. So it is going to be MSS beyond godlike. Invoker is now 13, 2, and 9. Well, this could be GG, as there's going to be a final round of buybacks, but the final towers are going to be munched on.
Yeah, and the Death Prophet down. She does have her Exorcism online, but won't be able to use it for 60.
IX
by that point,
Mike.
the game will be over.
IX Mike is just absolutely going all in. Another unreal vacuum connecting onto 2. Now there's going to be a meteor drop down. Sunby cannot afford to die here. Doesn't have much of a choice. This could be the GG called out. As Spectre does not have buyback as well. Brax still relatively healthy. We'll have those Greaves online in 20 seconds. Mike falls too. It's going to be GG called out for game 1 in favor of Shazam. So Freedom, they've got to take the next 2 to advance here in the ProDota Cup. This is going to get interesting here. What are your final thoughts about this game?
Well, part of me suspects that Brax actually has a cheat code that makes his vacuums do more damage than normal Darkseer vacuums, but I mean, it was just really well played from Shazam. This is clearly a draft they are very familiar with. They know its ins and outs. They know its timings. They capitalize on the window that they had, and, you know, Spectre going for that Radiance, he finds it, but he finds it as all the other towers go down, and Shazam did an amazing job of making sure that Freedom couldn't farm up, couldn't stay relevant. They were just too far behind on the net worth, and as a result, MSS, TC, they run all over them. 16, 2, and 10 on this Invoker. Man, MSS is a player on that hero.
We'll see if, you know, either Darkseer, Invoker, or, you know, maybe even the Abaddon get banned out next game, because these are definitely some comfort heroes coming out for these teams. So again, we're going to go into game number 2 of the ProDota Cup and a best of 3 between Team Freedom and Shazam. This is going to be our English coverage. I'm Annie, aka Android. I'm being joined by Sindar, so stick around, got a brief break, and then into game 2 for more NA action.